We're going to take you now to some developing news where footage of police throwing a protester to the ground at the site of a protest against Bisalloy Steel in Unanderra has been published just recently, and we've seen this footage. The protest was supported in part by the federal Greens. New South Wales Senator David Shoebridge attended on the weekend, and he spoke to the ABC Illawarra's Charles Rushforth about the incident a short time ago.
Well, I'd been at the protest. It kicked off at 8 o'clock on Sunday night, and it was an incredibly peaceful and positive protest. I stayed there until about midnight. There were bands playing, food being served, but a genuine resolve from the local community to not allow Bisalloy to be exporting its armoured steel to Israel, and as part of the general concern about trying to prevent the appalling violence in Gaza and surrounds. So, it's a very positive atmosphere. There were local police there. There was a little bit of, tension between the local police and the protesters and the picketers, but that was all being very well managed from both sides. And then I got this call and text the following morning, and that's when I saw this video. This video was taken about 5:30 a.m. on Monday morning, and after the riot squad came in, replaced the local police, and came in with what is now a very common repeated violence being directed against protesters.
Senator, you've spoken to this woman who was at the centre of this incident. What did she tell you about what happened, and can you reveal what her condition is at the moment?
Well, the video shows a young woman filming police. She's on the roadway. She's filming police as they're trying to drive through. Speaking with her, she tells me that what had preceded it were the riot squad physically picking up people and throwing them off the road in order to get their vehicles through. And people should know it's effectively a cul-de-sac, a dead end, just past where Bisalloy is. There's no through traffic happening. The riot squad were very insistent on getting their vehicles through, physically, quite violently, I'm told, shoving people off the road, picking them up, pushing them off the road. She was filming that, and as part of filming that, she moves around in front of where the police vehicles are going, and then with a degree of aggression that is totally uncalled for and real genuine violence against this young woman who's, holding her phone up to police, engage in a very hard physical thrusting and shoving of her, and she fell very heavily to the ground, and you can see her strike the ground very heavily, and then the police just sort of storm past her. She's still in some pain. She doesn't think any bones were broken. She hasn't had the opportunity to go and see a GP yet and have a full investigation, but she's still in pain and still shocked by the suddenness and the reality of that police violence. And I understand her shock, but I think increasingly the community is not shocked. They're beginning to expect this level of violence.
Do you know, can you reveal anything like the age of this person, whether they're a local to the area, and whether they're considering legal action after this?
Well, I think anyone who, is violently assaulted like that, obviously would consider legal action. I know that she's been, advised to go and get some urgent legal advice. And, she's a young local woman who comes from the community, but it shouldn't come at this level of violence, this cost of violence from police. If police are insisting on clearing a path to the end of a cul-de-sac, there are ways of doing it without this level of, obvious, brutal police aggression that this video shows.
Now, this is a 72-hour protest that is planned for this facility. Do you have fears that there could be repeat examples of clashes between police and protesters in the next days that this protest is expected to last for?
Well, I have fears there'll be more police-initiated violence like this whenever the so-called public order and riot squad is out mixing with protesters, egging on other police who are present as well. There is a fear of violence.